Hello, Pokemon fans! Marshall Saldana here, or Primetime Wizard TV, and today, well, it's going to be week one of the Casters Cup, and if you can see my hands here, yeah, that's some kind of magic where I can move my Switch and my hands at the same time, but no, this is going to be pre-recorded, just a heads up. I was a little sick when week one came up, so I couldn't do like a live recording. For the future games, it is going to be a live recording, but for week one, we're up against Shimon or Simon, and yeah, our team is looking a little. His team is looking a little scary. He has two Dark type Pokemon in the Hydreigon and the Scrafty, and he has a Trick Room mode that I have to deal with. All right. So again, all these games have already happened, but I'm going to walk it through as if, let's see if I can match my same thought process when I first played that match. But yeah, what I wanted to do was, this is the very, very first match. I wanted to start out with my first mechanic, my main strategy, if you will, and it's going to be the NDD and Iron Crown coming up, but up against Hydreigon and the Iron Leaves. Both very scary Pokemon, but I was extra scared of Hydreigon here, just because it is a Dark and Dragon type, and yeah, and Iron Leaves, I didn't know what to expect, Iron Leaves against my Iron Crown. If it's just as strong as my Iron Crown, it should be a problem as well. So I wanted to scout out what it could do, pretty much like what both these Pokemon were gonna do. So I was thinking maybe I should have like just a little bit of a passive term. I was debating going for Terra Fairy and just knock out on the Hydreigon, just deal with it right now while I can. But I decided to play it safe, which I feel like maybe wasn't the most correct move. But we are going to be able to get a Dazzling Gleam off potentially, and a Snarl comes out. Snarl from Hydreigon, and a very, very fast guy as well. Takes out half my NDD's HP. And then the Iron Crown goes for Electric Terrain, which was just so annoying. But very, very cool. Very cool tech there from Simon. We did get the Dazzling Gleam off and bringing down Zucchini to at least half health. That was good, but again, I wish I was a little bit more aggressive, thinking back. Of course, when you're playing these games, you're like, oh, hindsight is 2020, thing you never know. The right move always comes to you afterwards. But yeah, so now I'm thinking, I think I just have to get rid of the Hydreigon and protect my NDD, right? I want to still get Psychic Terrain up potentially, and NDD is just going to go down for free through a Snarl. Snarl is so annoying. And I am going to Terra now. I'm going to Terra the Iron Crown now, so it takes less damage from Snarl, and switch in the Ogerpon. I didn't have too many good switches. My team isn't as bulky as my Season 1 team, that's for sure. It's basically hyper offense. And that's definitely what I learned after this first match is, since I am hyper offense, I need to really utilize each turn to getting damage on the board. And with that, Snarl does break my Sturdy on my Ogerpon as well. It lowers my special attack on my Iron Crown. Iron Crown eats up the very scary attack there from the Iron Leaves, and we do get the Terra Blast off to knock out the Hydreigon. I'm thinking though, I could have just done that the first turn. If I did that the first turn, I would have knocked out the Hydreigon immediately while my opponent was setting up Electric Terrain, right? That would have been beautiful. But again, hindsight is 2020 as my opponent sends out Porygon 2, and I'm just thinking there's no way I can deal with Porygon 2 and the Iron Leaves. I honestly think the game is kind of over from here, just because Trick Room is going to go up, right? Trick Room, I can't prevent the Trick Room. The person that stops Trick Room is my NDD because of, counter Trick Room, and it does have the, forget what the name of that attack is, but he has it, the where you can stop imprison, where you can stop your moves that you share with your opponent and whatnot. And there it is. The Iron Leaves has just been, oh my god, just so strong. Has a huge shout out though to my Iron Crown for being able to survive pretty much the 2 hits from the Hydreigon plus the Iron Leaves. But here it is, the Trick Room does go up, and now I'm thinking have to send out my Pokemon with Protect. So it's going to be the Urshifu next to my Ogre Pawn, and we have a couple of Protects. Maybe you can stall it out, and Urshifu should like pair fairly nice against the Porygon, right? But it looks like I decided to attack instead. Maybe I'm just thinking just get some damage off right now. Maybe predict that they think I'm gonna protect, but maybe protecting Urshifu here seems good. But no, it looks like we're going aggressive. Hey, we have Sucker Punch. Might as well use a Sucker Punch. Could have Sucker Punched the Iron Leaves as well there. And we know the Iron Leaves should be slower than my Urshifu under the Trick Room, but the fastest thing on the field is gonna be this Porygon, and it was open Team Sheet as well, so I should have seen this coming, where Porygon is just going to go Terra Flying, and he's going to be able to Terra Blast into my Urshifu. That's a one-hit knockout. Man, I should have protected. Oh my god. Yeah, next time I'm going to do this live, guys, because I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen, so it's just me just going, oh man, I should have done this. And it looks like the Iron Leaves was faster than my Ogre Pawn under the Trick Room, but again, NDD now comes in, should be slower than Collard Green at the very least, could possibly at least get an Expanding Force off, right? Maybe get a knockout. And imagine too, if I went Protect the Urshifu and Ogre Pawn attack into the Porygon, I think that would have been phenomenal, right? That would have been phenomenal, where the Porygon did Terra Flying, and then I hit him with the Rock Attack. But there it is, just going to be another Terra Blast taking down my NDD. Now it's my lone Ogre Pawn against the world. Spiky Shield. I don't think there's any recoil. Oh, there is recoil from the Psyblade, so it is a contact move. And I've never seen that move in my life. But yeah, we were only able to take down one of our opponent's Pokemon, because that was a very, very dominating game one. I remember I was just like, oh, I'm out of my league here. This guy is pretty good. And I had to shake things up. Like I knew I wanted to try going for just the Psy Spam strategy. Luckily, we do have like other things in our back pocket we can do. All right, now for game two, I'm pretty sure we shake things up, and I wanted to bring the Suicune. I think Suicune should pair in nicely. It has a Trick Room answer in Roar, right? So that next to my Urshifu, just try and do as much damage. If they try to lead the Hydreigon, Urshifu just pairs nicely into that. And yeah, and then we still bring the NDD and the Iron Crown Core in the back. Yeah, the only thing scary would be maybe, because if they try to do like some fake out shenanigans with the what's the name of that? I keep forgetting his name. Scraggy? Scrafty. I'd have to switch in my NDD, which still works out, right? We can still block the fake out, because we have to deny Trick Room no matter what. We saw how out of hand it got once Trick Room is up. But hey, this is a very interesting lead for my opponent. And it's going to be Hydreigon plus Dugtrio. I believe Dugtrio does have Arena Trap, so that means I can't switch out. But this is where, again, so I made a mistake in game one where I was a little bit passive, and then I went to a super aggressive where I should have played passive. Now I think I should put myself in a better position. I think playing passive here works out. Nothing really threatens the Suicune, because Suicune is a very buff boy. Unfortunately, it is not like a fast Tailwind setter, something like Tornadus. I'm thinking maybe I protect here, get my Tailwind up, and then we start doing damage. As we are gonna even catch the Terra from my opponent, and it's gonna be Terra Ground Dugtrio. If I have to guess, maybe this is Choice Band. Terra Ground, Choice Band, Dugtrio. Maybe possibly going for an Earthquake, since Hydreigon is levitating here. We are gonna detect, so protecting the Urshifu. Dark Pulse comes out on my Suicune. That's sizable damage, actually. That's pretty good damage. but it is Hydreigon. And here it is, the Earthquake. Let's see how well we take this, or how badly. We're under half now. Suicune is now in the yellow, but luckily we do have the Citrus Berry to bring it back up. But more importantly, we set up the Tailwind. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our Urshifu can run amok. We know... Well, we don't know actually what the item is on the potato. It could still be Scarf. So I think we have to try and just double it up. Double up, right? I don't think the Hydreigon is threatening enough that we have to deal with it right here, right now. Like, the Hydreigon, yes, has been using Dark Pulse. And there it is. Critical hit, Wicked Blow. It is going to be Sash on the Dugtrio, but Suicune should be able to take it down here. So we did double up, and Dark Pulse does come out. Hydreigion's still faster than Suicune under the Tailwind, so that is very important to know. So that tells me it is Scarf. There's the Scald on to the Dugtrio, and we do get the knockout before it's able to move, and that's very, very big here. We are now up a Pokemon, plus we have Tailwind. But now things are scary, right? We know the Porygon can take out the Urshifu if it wanted to, right? I think here I'm debating if I wanted to just get damage off or just go for the Roar, right? And looks like we are just going to go straight into the damage because the Hydreigon doesn't threaten us at all. We 100% would have been punished there if the Porygon had Terra still available, but luckily, since the Dugtrio was able to Terra, it was very, very safe to go for just a close combat there into the Porygon, and we just get, you know, Suicune has just been eating up all of these Dark Pulses and all that, and now my opponent's down to their last two Pokemon, and Ursaluna's less scary. Yeah, Ursaluna's not that scary when there's no Trick Room. And we know the Hydreigon... Oh, looks like we are just going to go for the knockout on the Hydreigon while we still have the Tailwind, I believe. And surely Ursaluna can only take care of one of our Pokemon, right? It can only either deal with the Suicune or deal with the Urshifu. Or it can Earthquake, actually. Wait, it can Earthquake. So we could lose both Pokemon here, especially since we did... Yeah, there it is. There's the Earthquake. Urshifu should go down. It did a couple of close combats there. So maybe it was smarter to just go for the knockout onto the Ursaluna, but, you know, prevent a double KO, because the Hydreigon for sure can only knock out one Pokemon at the very least. But Hydreigon's a Dark-type Pokemon, and in the back, I had Iron Crown Indeedee, so I could guarantee that we just go double Psy Spam, get the knockout, versus I'd have to Terra. I guess it'd still be technically like a guaranteed win where I could just go Terra, Fairy, Terra Blast onto the Hydreigon. So yeah, maybe that would have been the more correct play. But either way, we're looking very, very good here to tie the series up. Expanding Force from the Indeedee. Let's see if it's enough. Almost enough. But from the Iron Crown, definitely going to be more than enough. And we tie the series up 1-1. I'm just glad I got a game from Simon. All right, after that game one, I was not going to lie. My mental state was just, what am I doing here? Why am I here? But since we did get a game up, I'm glad. We got a game 3 off someone who is just a phenomenal VGC player, caster. But yeah, all right. All right, this is it. Game 3. Do we go for the same strategy? And I decide to do it. You know, it worked out. The Urshifu next to the Suicune was phenomenal, right? We also didn't have to reveal the Roar tech yet. So I felt like maybe I can pull that off here in Game 3 and be in a really good position. So we're going to just get the Indeedee and the Iron Crown to in the back. Really wanted the Ogre Pawn as well, though. But this is the team we're bringing, and here we go. We're up against Shimon. Simon, game 3, ladies and gentlemen, of week 1. And oh, this is where, yeah, I was a little bit scared, right? I was a little bit scared. A lot of things to consider where the Porygon can go for the knockout again onto my Urshifu if they Terra Flying, or if he predicts my Roar and goes for Fake Out on my Suicune, I'm in trouble. So this is where I just decide I'm gonna play around the Fake Out. All I'm doing this turn is denying Trick Room. They could attack, get a knockout here, which would be scary, but I need to deny Trick Room. Their lead is telling me they're going for the Trick Room, and maybe I should have just attacked, right? If they're going for Trick Room, Fake Out, but they do Terra. They do Terra here, so maybe attack wasn't the best, right? If I attacked, I would have attacked into a Terra Flying. Not very effective. Close combat onto the Porygon, but let's see what the Scrafty does. It is going to be knockoff, so we lose the Citrus Berry, which is unfortunate. Let's see if it goes for Trick Room, though. Yes, it was going to be Trick Room. So Roar has, well, higher priority than Trick Room, so it does go off before the Porygon gets to do that, and we force the Ursaluna out. That was great. Yes, the what do you call this? The Flame Orb does trigger, though. And now this is where I think we just go for attacks, right? Dazzling Gleam does ×4 into this Scrafty as well, if we can pull it off. But yeah, again, just getting the Trick Room's the Porygon's Terra coming out immediately, and we get to push it back into our opponent's pocket. So I was thinking like, well, we're gonna put it back in his hand, you know, like in Pokemon TCG, it's back in his hand or whatnot. But no, it's gonna be switching in now. It's gonna be the Hydreigon. Luckily, we did go for the Dazzling Gleam, so ×4 to both these Pokemon. Very, very massive damage. And the Scald. I really wishing for a burn here, but just the Snarl coming out from the Scrafty. And yeah, we know this Hydreigon is like blazing fast as well. So yeah, we could guarantee the knockout here. Icy Wind, I think at least is double, or Snarl, you know, hits both the Zucchini and the Beeroot, and we can just go for like Dazzling Gleam, maybe even switch out. But I feel like this is where we just go for damage, right? Yeah, we have to do spread moves on both the Pokemon because the Hydreigon should be able to take out one of these guys. Oh, the U-turn too. Oh, never mind. At least. So we do survive the U-turn. So we're just getting even more damage off here. Let's see who switches in. If I had to guess this time, it's going to be Porygon once again. Yeah, it is going to be the Porygon. We've shown the Roar. Get the Dazzling Gleam off and the knockout onto the Scrafty, and we're looking pretty good in our positioning, to be honest. The Hydreigon does have 1 HP remaining. I wish if it was just knocked out, I'd feel 100%. I'd feel 100% confident in the game. And now the Porygon, Ursaluna, they're still fairly healthy, and those two Pokemon by themselves can sweep, right? So like the Hydreigon outside of Trick Room can sweep, and then the Ursaluna in Trick Room can sweep. This is where I make a call, right? Do I just go for damage? I feel like there's no way they go for Trick Room in front of my Suicune that can roar and my Indeedee that has Imprison. And this is where, like, do I just go for the Roar? Just go for the safe play, or do we get damage off? Because if I go for the Roar and they just go double attack, they get knockout plus very big damage on my Suicune, and I would have done absolutely nothing, right? Because the Hydreigon's just been such a menace, especially with that Snarl. So I choose to just take out the Hydreigon, hoping that the Porygon doesn't go for Trick Room, but I go for the Snarl, knock out the Hydreigon, but unfortunately, I remember this is the downfall of the game. The Porygon does go for the Trick Room here, right? Trick Room now up for my opponent's side of the field. So it's Porygon next to Ursaluna as well as Flying Porygon. So Earthquake shenanigans can happen. And now I'm in a pickle. How do I deal with both Pokemon? My Iron Crown, I've trained to be like very bulky. It's not necessarily the fastest Pokemon. So I just opted to just put it all in bulk. So maybe I'm thinking here, I feel like I could still stall it out, right? I feel like I could stall this out. It's 4 turns of Trick Room. I feel like what I do is I protect, or yeah, I could protect or just go for the Terra Fairy now. I think we also can do is try and stall out the. We can try and stall out the Psychic Terrain so that I can at least Sucker Punch as well. So here we go. We are gonna Terra Fairy. We're hoping here that we can survive whatever the Ursaluna goes. It goes for the Headlong Rush too. I was expecting the Earthquake. Luckily we do survive though. 23 health on the Iron Crown. Again, we trained this very, very well, but it's gonna be the Eerie Impulse now coming from the Porygon, lowering my special attack. We're going for the Scald here. That's damage. I don't think it's enough though. Maybe I should have protected. That was a double up. Would have bought me like literally a turn, and then I can attack again here and take a knockout on the Ursaluna. And we were able to eat up. Oh no, but it was the last turn of the. It was the last turn of the Trick Room. No, the Trick Room, not the Trick Room. Of the terrain, right? Last turn of the terrain. So I had to. I was thinking maybe I should have just attacked there, just get the most damage off. I can choose to protect now. I should protect here, right? Come on, me, protect. No, I opt to attack. Maybe just double attack, guarantee that we get the knockout. And they did opt to not attack into the Iron Crown, though. But surely the Porygon has enough firepower to take a knockout on the Iron Crown. Yeah, it is. So I was thinking maybe if I attack with both, I could possibly just take a knockout here. But I feel like either way, I'm like in the same position, right? So now I have Lone Urshifu against the world. It's Lone Urshifu against the world, and we know that the Porygon has the capability to knock us out. Yes, we hit it with a Snarl, so maybe not. Maybe our Urshifu can survive. What we're trying to do now is just we're trying to take a knockout on the Urshifu through the through its own Flame Orb. So I feel like I'd be in the same position if I didn't attack. If I just protected with the Iron Crown last turn, I'd have to go for the double protect now, because then this turn it does get knocked out, right? So it was going for a double protect, and now it's gonna be Urshifu against the Porygon, still under Trick Room as well, and it recovered. I feel like the recover was so massive. 1 turn left of Trick Room. Yeah, 1 turn left of Trick Room. I think I opt for Sucker Punch here. I think it was more correct to go for the Wicked Blow. Like, we just have to hope that we survive and just get 2 Sucker Punches off, 2 Wicked Blows off. But let's see here. Yeah, with the Terra Blast, there was no way, right, that the Sucker Punch was gonna knock out. So I definitely the Wicked Blow was more optimal. But hey, we'll see here. Let's see how much damage the Wicked Blow does. Wicked Blow. Yeah. I think I would have won here. I would have won if I just went for the Wicked Blow the first time around, and then Wicked Blow again. Well, we learned things. I felt like the game got really close. We were able to put him down to the last Porygon. I'm very proud of this match. In fact, we were able to get to a game 3. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was week 1 of the VGC Caster Cup. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna try and yeah, again, see if I mentioned it was just a recording, but we're gonna do our best for week 2. Hopefully we can turn things around. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and don't shout at me too much for my misplays, please. Thank you. I'm still learning. I learned a bit.